verse 13. He says, you shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You won't go in yourselves, and you don't let others enter either. How well does that fit into a satanic scheme to keep God from redeeming mankind? Shutting up the kingdom of heaven from people who might otherwise want to be a part of God's kingdom. How dastardly is that? These men were obviously, as the text tells us, not a part of God's kingdom by choice, and they had no desire to be a part of it, and they did whatever they could to keep others from being a part of God's kingdom. Then in verse 15, Jesus says, you cross land and sea to make one convert, and then you turn that person into twice the child of hell that you yourselves are. Again, if we didn't know who Jesus was talking about here, how easy would it be to assume that he was talking about Satan? Moving on, Jesus, for the last 3 chapters, has continually accused these men of being the height of hypocrisy. For example, in verses 16 through 18, he accuses them of creating this elaborate scheme of technicalities that allowed them to make public vows to God. But because of the way their vows were written and the words twisted around about the temple and the altar and the gold in the temple and the gift on the altar and all this verbiage that they twisted around and created for themselves, they could simply not keep those vows because of these technicalities. Then in verse 24, Jesus uses a comical illustration to show their hypocrisy by saying to them, you blind guides, you strain your water so you won't accidentally swallow a gnat, but you swallow an entire camel. This is similar to when he accused them of trying to remove a tiny speck from their brother's eye, but ignoring the giant log that was sticking out of their own eye. It's a comical illustration that probably caused many people there to chuckle on that day, but it got the point across that these men are so hypocritical. They are the height of hypocrisy.